Your boy, Mr. CSA2 Gazy, and right now, this is another episode of Mr. CSA2K, myself, Unfiltered. And with me, I have traveled all the way over to the West Coast. Yes, I had to bring somebody in because me and this man got history. And I just want to take this short but sweet and detailed trip down memory lane and bring all of y'all back to why he is where he's at and why he is who he is and why he is making the moves the way he make his moves. So on my behalf, I got with me my fellow brother, Richie. Evan, what's happening, bruh?
What's going on with you, champ?
Hey, man. Hey, I can't complain. You know what I'm saying? Like, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. That's what I'm talking about. So, I want to kick everything off, and I want to like rewind a little bit, because I met Rocket, and I had the honor of watching Juice and Richie from the sideline.
Real shit.
But I had the opportunity to get to know Rocket. So, with me saying that, I was doing some reading and I saw that your dad was in the military, and that you originally from Philly, and I can tell like in your flow that you got a gumbo of, you know what I'm saying, the different influences that kind of brings that unique edge to your flow. So what was it like moving around, you know what I'm saying, as a youth coming of age, and how did that affect your music today?
Hey, you know, truthfully, man, it was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? I think that at first, man, you know, being a young adolescent, you know what I mean? Of course, you had some issues, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you had to really separate yourself from your core friends and core family. You know what I mean? Of course, that was a, you know, strong issue for me early on. But like I said, man, as time went through, man, it ended up becoming a blessing because I was able to see that there was more to the world than just a 5-block radius. You know what I mean? I think that sometimes, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people get stuck, you know, with the visions of just knowing they block or knowing they region or just knowing they section. So early on in my life, I had an opportunity, man, to know that there was more to the world than just that. And, you know, I want to say early on, you know what I'm saying, got that thirst for more from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, there's a whole big world out here to get. You know what I mean? We just got to necessarily motivate ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Keep that faith and go make it shake. So it definitely was a blessing for me. You know what I mean? So who inspired you? Being from Philly, like, was there any Philly artists back then that kind of inspired your flow edge and just your approach to music? So for me, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I ended up leaving Philly when I was 5. So I was dead early. We ended up moving out to Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? I call Phoenix my home base because, like I said, it was the only city that me and my family lived at more than, you know, 2 to 3 years at a time. You know what I'm saying? But I would have to say the person who influenced me the most, you know what I'm saying, and the person who motivated me the most to kind of chase this had to be Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? You know, seeing Cube and Boys in the Hood and kind of seeing his whole stance with the whole NWA push and standing on his own, you know what I mean, and really vocally, you know what I'm saying, living with what he talking about definitely was an inspiration for me. Cube was definitely a little bit more ahead of my time, you know what I'm saying, like as far as, you know, age-wise goes, but then when I end up getting, you know, hearing Nas and then following up with T.I. and Game, you know, I really took a piece from each and one of those artists to put into my own that really kind of helped me inspire to really, you know, get to where I am now. You know what I mean? So it definitely wasn't just one artist. And again, it wasn't, you know, one particular artist from Philly or from the West Coast, but I would say a few artists who really helped me just kind of, you know, put that gumbo into where I am now, a little mix of everything.
Well, I can totally relate to you on that. me being a Cali baby and moving to Georgia and being raised in Georgia, South Georgia, but being born in Cali, you know what I'm saying? But still having that attachment, like having that liking and that longing attachment to it. Even when I grew and I was trying to understand, why do I just still have that connection, even though I was raised here? But it's just when it's somewhere in your roots. It's somewhere in your roots. So when I met you, it's like 2007, 2006. I want to say when I was actually in Phoenix for a week. The first time I met you, I think I was in Phoenix for like 2 weeks. I was actually, during that time, Rampage was actually in Phoenix. And he was actually doing music, and the female he was working with that was managing him, I was actually cool with her. I can't think of her name right now to save my life. And is
it Marcia?
Marcia, yeah, definitely.
She's still actually, it's crazy. Yeah. She's managing him to this day.
Yeah, and it's like with me meeting Marcia, it's like we came across my Stoudemire's club. Yeah. And it's like that was the first, he had an event, and that was the first time I met you.
Yes, sir.
And then the crazy thing about it is like you know, the music game, you know what I'm saying? I'm a DJ, you're an artist, we're moving in our own lanes. Right. And then we stayed in touch, but we kind of disconnected until you came to Atlanta. Right. And when I was working with Grand Hustle,
sir. Yeah. So,
it circled back, and it was like,
it's crazy because
and everything.
You know a lot of the longevity and the grind that are taking this industry, man. You know, I don't even really speak too much about the whole Grand Hustle situation. Just due to the fact is, you know, at that time, you know, Tip was going through a lot. You know what I mean? He had the court case.
Yes. That was a very tense time around that time. We were still working, but it was on eggshells and needles.
Yeah, and you know, I feel like that was a situation for me too that was very promising, because, you know, I ended up building a solid relationship with Tip at that time, but I didn't want to really broadcast it too much because, you know, when I ended up getting out of the Game situation, you know, people was like, damn, you know, like he was with Game, you know what I'm saying? How come that didn't work out? I didn't want that same situation to happen to T.I., you know, because people always want to look at it from the aspect of like, well, it's the artist's fault or situation, but people don't know, like, man, my man was facing damn near life in jail. You know what I'm saying? Nigga got a full federal court case at this particular time, and, you know, something gonna come out of it. You know what I'm saying? We don't know exactly what is what, but something was gonna come out of it, and, you know, he had to sit down and do some time, and, you know, that kind of, I don't want to say folded Grand Hustle, but definitely put a lot of things on pause. You know what I mean? Not even just for me, but even at that time, that's when I think I met Meek Mill. He was supposed to sign with Grand Hustle at that time. He was fresh out the pen. I want to say, what was the cat's name from? I think they pulled his paperwork and ended up kicking him out of Alpha Mega.
Yep. Yes. You know, craziest thing is, like, you remember when we recorded that song? Everybody Knows Me.
Yes. Everybody, yes.
And the craziest thing is, like, I was actually on YouTube one day and I was floating and I found it. I found it on YouTube. I was like, wow,
I recorded that. Everybody Know Me was recorded in the Grand Hustle studio.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, that song is still out here floating. And then the craziest thing about it was that remix was so crazy and it would have did so much damage, but then that happened. And
right?
Like when that happened, everything that was recorded pertaining to Alpha, it just got erased. Like, and you was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yes, sir, brother. Like that's a crazy thing to know, but, you know what I mean? Like I said, shout out to Tip, JG, and everybody at Grand Hustle, because I definitely learned a lot from that situation. You know what I mean? I will say that, you know, that really showed me that Tip was on his business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really got to see an artist, you know what I'm saying, and be in executive mode at that time, to see him run a full-fledged label. Bro had a full studio. Bro had full artists, you know what I'm saying, different times, you know, working in and out. So, you know, I definitely took a few gems and a few learning points from him to put it into my own to where I am now, you know.
So what was the difference? Like what was it like transitioning from an artist to an NBA player, like working up under different umbrellas and stuff? Like how was it like working with Stoudemire? You know what I'm saying? Amari Stoudemire in that situation.
You know, Stat was my guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the thing about, you know, the thing about Stat was, you know, it was all based upon the music. You know what I'm saying? You know, we met through the city of him supporting my music. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I remember the first day we met, I came back off tour from Germany and I had an event. And matter of fact, pull up, hop out, you know what I mean, VIP, you know, they walked me in and I had a booth in the middle and I seen Omari, he was at the door, held up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that they was gonna let him in for some reason. I don't know what was going on. So I told my man, I said, yo, put him on the table beside me. Tell him bottles on me tonight. And Jeezy was in town because he was pumping they just dropped the USDA.
The compilation, yeah.
You know what I mean? So they was out. So I was like, hey, and put Jeezy and Pull Up beside me too. And I just think that night was just so organic, just on some just, my nigga, you know, have a good time in the city and end up building some strong relationships. Outside of him just being a fan and a friend, you know, he kind of followed the journey and knew something was going on because nothing ever came out from Black Wall Street. You know, and he was like, man, you know, I'm hearing the records, I'm seeing you move through the city. Like, yo, what's up with the album? You know what I mean? And again, a lot of artists don't want to speak about the shit going on behind the boardroom, but you know, everybody knew the beef and the big breakup between Game and 50, which ultimately was a domino effect that kind of felt on everybody's head. That was under that. So as time went by, man, you know, he invited me out to a barbecue one time. I remember this exact words. He was like, yo, I'm about to accept I'm about to accept a new deal for 100 mil. I said, shish. He was like, listen, because he ended up going to New York, but he was supposed to go to Miami. He wanted to go back home. And that was the year that, you remember, they did the Bron, the Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh situation. So Chris Bosh it was supposed to be Omari.
Okay.
It was supposed to be Omari, LeBron, and D Wade. Well, what happened was, since they had all three of them big names to the situation, each of their pay wasn't going to be 100 million, and he specifically wanted 100. I think they ended up breaking each of them contracts down to where they received like 89 or, you know what I'm saying, 88. And Omari was like, nah, I want 100. So the New York Knicks offered him 100. So he ended up passing on Miami, went to New York, Bosh came, and then he was like, Rich, what you want to do? And I said, to be honest with you, man, I was like, you know, I want to complete my album and I want to start my own label. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not saying I know everything, but sitting up on the game for a while, I think that I learned some shit and built a lot of solid relationships. And like I said, you know, meeting a few different people, I think that we can do this shit the right way. You know what I'm saying? As long as we got the bag and we, you know, open-minded to find the right executives to help make this move, we straight. You know what I mean? And he was always with that. Where things just got a little bit shaky was just, I didn't want nobody to know that he was behind me, because I felt like if they knew that he was behind me, everybody was going to try to tax that bag. You feel me? Because they knew it was a guaranteed situation. Like, you know, he just signed for 100 M's and it's out on ESPN, and you know what I mean? So if everybody knew, you know, oh, well, he invested in this kid, I felt that everybody was going to try to put their hands in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was going to try to jump out. And that's eventually what kind of started happening. And then I just think that when basketball season started, he had to really focus on that. And it kind of took him away from music. And he couldn't focus like he was supposed to. And things just kind of went downhill from there. I didn't want to put myself into a situation to be responsible, you know what I'm saying, for things that I knew that we needed, but that we wasn't going to get. And what I mean by that was I just didn't want to, if we didn't have the right people at the helm and the right people in position to move forward, then I wasn't going to do it. And that's what, ended up happening. I just went back to the drawing board and I said, big bro, I appreciate you reaching out, wanting to take this wave. But if we can't get some real high, hierarchy executives in here and structure this the right way, and if you don't really got the time or effort to put in, I don't want to start something and halfway have to fall off because, you know what I'm saying?
So one of the other reasons why I wanted to touch that topic is because during that time, he also had Baby Boy. And Baby Boy struck gold with that single when he collaborated with Tip and with Grand Hustle. What's his name? Baby Blue, Baby Boy, Baby Blue.
No, you talking about young
the young cat.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
And it's like, and I noticed I was like, that struck and he took off for a good wave. But then I was like, but I knew you was attached, and I'm like, I'm looking at you and I'm seeing you doing the underground. You still working the market, and you still, doing you. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, so why my bro why this move didn't transition into
because we didn't end up doing the deal with Grand Hustle.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
So now you got to keep in mind, like I said, that was the overall play. But like I said, remember, Tip ended up going to jail.
Yeah.
And what happened was the artist that he had was already signed to Interscope, so they already positioned to do the video, do the remix, because he was a Grand Hustle artist before Tip went to jail. And my thing was, like I said, I wasn't going to be on the hook for something when the outline and plan that we had outlined couldn't be executed because Tip had to go to jail, and then Omari went back to play basketball. So I kind of felt like I was just out there in the wind, and I was like, if I'm gonna do something, man, I got to make sure that I really do it the right way. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. Like I said, I still see Tip, to this day, and we always have a drink and talk about it. Same with Mars. But moving forward, though, you know what I'm saying? Me and Tip definitely gonna get some more work in for sure.
Dope. So what was did the name transition affect you in a sense? Like, when the artists come out and they brand themselves one way, and then you make a transition and people you gotta get people reconnected with this and figuring out, like it's like could you elaborate, what I'm saying? If you I don't know if it's personal, but I'm saying elaborate on the switch from Rocket to Juice, you know what I'm saying?
It was growth. You feel me? I think, when you under somebody like Game, who was at that time pretty much the biggest name out west and probably one of the biggest names in the industry at that particular point, his sunbeam was so big that if you didn't stand on your own and come from under that, you're gonna get swallowed up in it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And for me, there was so much going on where, like I said, man, the beef with him and 50, the management, Jimmy Hinchman, go to prison, and I think there was so much negative connotation attached to it that was affecting a lot of the corporate business. I felt that I needed to step away and I needed to change my name from Juice to Richie. You know what I mean? One, for a business move, but even also for myself. You know what I'm saying? I wanted a clean slate. I think that everything that I was doing through the industry at that time was always the effect of somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And I just took it personal and was like, hey, moving forward, I'm gonna stand on me. Richie Evans, you know what I'm saying? That's my God-given name that my mom gave me. Ain't nothing more realer than that. You know what I'm saying? True. So I just, basically, had to roll the dice. Of course, it took a lot of time for people to kind of get hip, you know what I'm saying, to understand what it is. And I had to make some transitions. I had to stay away from Game for a little bit and stay away from some of these situations. Nothing personal. It was just, I had to create my own light. I had to create my own way. You know what I'm saying? And, I think that's kind of where we are right now, man. Like I said, Richie Evans is out there. The name is definitely ringing bells. Definitely attached to quality music and quality shit. So, we definitely out here shaking.
So let's talk about how did this record with you and Ross come about? How did you meet Ross, and it's like, what was the conversation like, and just sit down and just collaborate, collaborative minds, how did that go down?
Well, Ross is one of them artists, through my journey that I've always looked up to, respected. I think he makes a great, body of work. Ross makes quality music. I've always felt that me and Ross would vibe if we ever had that opportunity to blend. And it actually happened, man. I was out in LA working on the EP, and we ended up staying at the same hotel. And it was crazy because, we got mutual people and mutual friends, and I ran into one of his people, and he was like, bro, it's so ironic. Ross was just talking about you. And I was like, what you mean? And he was just like, Ross has done everything in this industry from an executive standpoint except one thing, and that's sign and break a West Coast artist. He broke Meek, he broke Wale, he broke Styley. You know what I mean? He broke, what's Buddy's name? Down there with him in Miami. Light skin cat.
Gunplay.
You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely done a lot of major things for artists from an executive standpoint. But remember, he tried to sign Nipsey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was supposed to be his West Coast move, R.I.P. Nip, but that situation didn't end up working out, and I know that kind of stays on his mind. Also though, Ross is very strategic. You know what I'm saying? He's not just signing any type of artist, you know what I mean? You have to fit the mold, and basically you got to have those characteristics that he's looking for. And signing somebody like Nip, he wanted to try to sign somebody like Nip. He wanted an artist, who can stand on his own, basically got, respect in the streets, can move around when he's on tour, not dealing with the bullshit. Also, be able to, create great music. So, he definitely, we ended up having dinner, sitting down, chopping it up. He asked me to come on tour with him a little bit to really build that vibe so he can see how I rock. I can kind of see how he rock. And we end up just kind of, building that big brother, little brother relationship. You know what I mean? He definitely seen my vision. He definitely understands it. So at that point, I was like, hey, I got this record. And he was like, let me hear it. And I played it for him. And he was like, man, that's something that I would have picked for my album. That's exactly what he told me. You know what I mean? So as soon as he said that, I kind of knew that, he was going to rock with it. So we ended up doing the record. I ended up sitting on it for a little bit to make sure that my business was right. When you got a record with Ross and, you got that type of motion, you got to make sure that it's really beneficial for you and your brand, and you can leverage it as big as you can. So definitely put some things in play, made sure I dropped a couple records to get the buzz up, finished the EP. We end up dropping the record, and like I said, that's where we are now, man. We shot the video, we on MTV, BET, VH1. Yeah, it's hot. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely hot. And like I said, right now, man, everybody's asking, like, what's up, man? You gonna do MMG? What you gonna do? And I'm just like, we definitely talking and building and blending right now. You know what I mean? If that opportunity comes to the table the way that I think it should come, then we'll move from there. But right now, man, he's just supporting, showing me love. You know what I mean? Basically, just helping me orchestrate, the shit that I got going on right now. You know what I mean? So it's definitely dope to have the support from Rose for sure.
So do you think that maybe in just all these years that you done put in the grind and you've reestablished yourself 3 times and you withstood adversity and everything like that, do you feel that it could be a vacation for you in your career to put some of that work on somebody else and allow you to just get in your artistry mode, since you've been really going hard for over a decade, for real?
If I were to do it, it would be with Ross.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the conversation the talk and noise is out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we spent a lot of time together, my G. Like, I just, he came out here for Super Bowl weekend, you know what I'm saying, was in my city. We had, a bunch of events together, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something that is organic and definitely fits, you know what I'm saying? But one thing that I do understand and that I know through this journey, man, this shit is still business. You know what I mean? So if the business is right, you know what I'm saying, and you match that with the energy we got right now, definitely, you know what I'm saying, something can shake for the positive.
You ever thought about writing a book? Because
absolutely.
You've experienced
bro, listen,
you've experienced a lot, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, fam. I give it for me, truthfully speaking, man. I got maybe 4 more years in this, and it's over for me. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think right now I'm doing a great job of building my brand. You know what I'm saying? Building my business. I'm definitely looking, you know what I'm saying, for new talent to put in position to make sure that they, don't go through anything that I went through, and giving some of these young kids a shot. And, like I said, man, just dropped this EP, gonna drop my debut album this summer. I'm gonna do a crew album after that, and then one more solo when it's over for me. So I definitely got a timeline, and I definitely got some outlets, you know what I mean, to do some shit.
The great thing about this is that you understand the position, you understand the approach, you understand the work, and you understand the time. A lot of people don't understand the time.
Facts.
And it's like we have a lot of Eddie Kanes in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure I still got it. It's like, it's not about having it. It's about running your race and then setting up for others.
Actual statement.
And it's like transitioning, positioning yourself. Like it's almost like a job. Yep. You don't want to be a worker forever. You want to transfer from a supervisor. You want to transfer to a manager. Then your goal is to become a CEO. Like, there should be a growth transition in everything that you do, especially with us being Black men. And now I'm on that topic. With everything that's going on, and I don't want to be too controversial with this and everything like this, but to me, it's something that it at least should have a response. Yeah. Like, even if it don't have a conversation, it should at least have a response. Yeah. And with seeing how dominant women is right now, right, in this game, and just in this season, right, we sit back and we applaud our Black women and our sisters because we knew what they went through. Right. But to just see how the economy of the United States manipulate that to like put us in a position, and not only do they do that, they start stripping the respect level from us, because now they put folks that look like us, right, but they want to be other, ethnics, other genres, or other whatever. They want to be other, right, others, but they're looking like us, and they put them in front of the light. It's just almost like you ask yourself, when you done got it out the mud and you grown and you came through life, you ask yourself, like, what is, in 2023, where is the true definition of a man besides me looking in the mirror, looking at myself? Like, it's like, what are the other young males coming up? Like, where is the definition of a man? It's like, we see a lot of males. Right. But we very seldomly see
a lot of men. Yeah, no. It's that you say that, because I definitely stand on that. You know what I mean? Like, I say it all the time, especially with, my journey through this particular industry. Listen, I stood tall through it, got it out the mud, didn't flinch, didn't whine, didn't do nothing. I put my head down, chest up, and prayers up, and got to it. You know what I'm saying? And, I was standing between that, not just for myself, but and for my last name and my legacy that I'm trying to leave. You feel me? I think that, in this, in any type of business, you know what I'm saying? I think people got to take it a little bit more personal. People always say, this is business, nothing personal. I don't believe that. My dog, this is my business, so it is personal. You feel me?
True.
So, I think that nowadays, you know what I'm saying? some of the journey and some of the grind definitely is not to where the walks of life how we had to do it. But I also feel that, you know what I mean, it's definitely a topic of discussion that a lot of us who have went through that journey have to definitely display and definitely explain to some of these other people coming up to understand, man, wasn't nothing handed to nobody. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to be successful, you know what I'm saying, you got to stand tall, man. You're gonna come against a lot of adversity. You're gonna come up, you know, with a lot of situations to these no's and things like that. But you gotta ask yourself, my dog, you know what I mean, how bad do you really want it? Everybody not Drake, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the thing. I tell people all the time, you know, everybody only sees, you know, the video aspect. What I mean by that is they see it when you popping champagne in the video. You see it when you on promo. People seeing you when, you know, the body of work and the grind is somewhat at the end. But you didn't see them sleepless nights when we was, you know what I'm saying, sitting up till 3 or 4 in the morning, breaking down, you know what I'm saying, $100 budget, how we going to eat, have gas, and how we going to get to the studio to do what we got to do. I think all of that leading up to nowadays have to be addressed, have to be expressed, and at least have to be highlighted, you know what I'm saying, to know that's the sacrifice and time that you need to get to where you're trying to go to a high level of success. You know what I mean? So that definitely needs to be spoke about, and definitely needs to be some type of conversation for people stepping into any walks of success.
Deep, my brother. Hey, wow, that's which and it helps this and it helps this last intellectual, you know what I'm saying, verbal approach of me saying, like, seeing how us black men, like the younger ones, they're using music the wrong way, and it's Absolutely. Like they're getting it's like the industry is, how can I put it? The industry complain about the outcome, but they still support the process.
Right.
So It's almost like you complaining about what's going on, but you're feeding
the muse too.
You're feeding what's building that. You know what I'm saying? You complain about the outcome, but you feeding the process. And it's like, and I see how a lot of young black men, like artist wise, they feel like it's something in them to where they feel like the more negative or the more derogative they talk it's like, the bigger they are. Now you're hearing these young girls saying they don't want a guy unless he's strapped, or he you know what I'm saying, he got his, you know what I'm saying, or he's street, or he this. So they're catering to this. But the most confusing thing to me is I don't understand them at the same time. And this is why. It just don't look real. Like, how can it just don't look believable to me. It's almost like, because it don't look believable to you, you have to stay away from some of that stuff, because what comes out of your mouth may create an altercation just because you don't believe based upon what's being shown to you. Because you can't tell me you out here cripping and you out here, you know what I'm saying, you gang banging and you wearing skirts and you wearing loud colors and you tight jeans and you wearing makeup, but it's like, that's why I'm saying, like, everything has been so Hollywood that it's killing us. It is like we're dying, but because we're looking good,
Right.
we don't mind dying.
We don't mind dying.
And I'm like, what in the world is this? What is that? I'm trying to understand. I'm like,
and you know, that's you know, truthfully, bro, that's the realest thing that a person can say, because that is an actual factual statement that is currently going on right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even for myself, you know, I said all the time, my dog, I'm not 21 no more, champ. You know what I mean? I'm not out here gangbanging, doing all this extraness, man. I'm on some grown man business. You feel me? What I'm doing, man, you know what I mean? Again, don't get me wrong. We men, so we do stand, you know, we do stand by a certain code, you know what I'm saying, that we live by. You know, I always say, you know what I mean, like, hey, you know, I stand on the wall that, you know what I'm saying, don't try to cross. I come in peace, but you know what I'm saying, I'm still skilled at war. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that, you know what I'm saying, I want no issues. Definitely not. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, we still have to stand on the wall, but also we can still educate and guide too. I'm not saying that, you know, I don't, you know, I call it reality rap. Bro, I rap what I live every day. You know what I'm saying? My EP, Highly Favored, that just dropped. Every record on there is a reflection or a time in my life or a situation in my life that I went through. You know what I'm saying? You know, I make it a keynote for me to kind of stay away from all the, you know, the younger shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not 21. I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to rather help you try to get it than to try to take it from you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think that a lot of artists, you know what I'm saying, should be a little bit more responsible and a little bit more mature enough to speak on that, or lend a hand for the younger people who different. Because right now, man, this hip hop game ain't nothing but choppers and switches and perk 30s and 60s, whatever they doing. You feel me? And it's definitely, you know, polluting the game. You feel me? It's definitely polluting the game.
So what would you want a younger head to take, or a fan to take, from this new EP, Highly Favored? What would you want them to take from it, from you creating it? What do you truly want them to take from this project?
Man, to me, is just knowing my story and my journey and that I went through. As long as you keep God first, believe in yourself and put the work in, anything is achievable. Like I said, man, you know, there wasn't an overnight journey for me. You know, like I said, the game situation, the Grand Hustle situation, or Slash Omari situation, you know, that journey alone will make a man tap out. That journey alone will make a man second guess or question his existence in this industry. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing it did for me, man, was lock me in a little harder. You know what I'm saying? To make me work a little harder. Like I said, man, I'm leaving a legacy for my family. My last name hold weight. So I definitely wanted to stand like a man and execute, you know what I mean, to the fullest. If anything never happened, at least I was able to put out a great body of work, you know what I'm saying, under my own imprint, when everything else and everybody else folded. You know what I mean? So, I mean, basically, man, I just want people to really walk away that, man, anything is possible as long as you put your, you know, your work into it, keep God first, and execute, brother.
So now Richie has gained his momentum back.
Yes, sir.
Richie has got his swagger back.
Yes, sir.
Richie has got his flavor, his position, his posture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What can the world expect now from Richie Evans, man, going forward?
I would say, you know, this EP was the foundation for me. You know, I needed to secure a solid foundation, and I think that that's exactly what that did. Moving forward, like I said, man, you know, got this EP. I got my debut album dropping, you know, this summer. Definitely going to be on tour. You know what I mean? About to pull up to different cities. You know, meet people on the direct. Going to build my company. You know, the Evans Administration, TEA. Definitely going to find a couple, you know, young cats out there who really got the drive and work ethic and understanding of what it takes to get to that next level. Definitely going to pump into my community, and definitely going to do a lot of entrepreneurial stuff, you know what I mean, as far as giving back. So I'm definitely going to be on this journey, man. And, you know, like I said, man, you know, we really out here right now. You know what I mean? I'm showing you better than I can tell you, for sure. Definitely.
And I also see you stepping your brim game up and everything like that. You really getting on your grown man right now. You really getting on your grown man.
Come on.
I want to congratulate you on just staying with it, staying true to yourself, not folding, and evolving the right way. Because you could have fell wayside a long time ago and went on something else. But you stood firm, you stood on 10 toes, and just with you now collaborating your brand with other brands that make sense, that helps you in a positive way, and not just, you know what I'm saying, and not just feeding on a negative. And I want to commend you on not being so sucked into the stereotypes or just being in all that mess, but you doing what you do best, and that's be true to you while creating great music for your audience. So I definitely want to give you your flowers on that, bro.
Appreciate that for sure.
And definitely tell everybody where they can find you at on social media, how many different ways they can get this new project, and when is the snippet of the new project that you got working on, as well as the video. Just drop the whole lingo and let everybody know where they can get in contact and tap in with Richie Evans, man.
My man, like I said, y'all can follow me on all my social sites. Get with me on Instagram. It's Who Is Richie. Like I said, you can get me on Facebook, get me on Twitter. We just, like I said, dropped a new EP, Highly Favored, featuring that new single with Rick Ross and Vito called Can't Knock the Hustle. That's available on Spotify, Apple, all the major DSPs. And like I said, man, stay in tune with me. Talk with me, I talk back, man. You know what I mean? I definitely want to try to tap in with as many new people as possible and follow the journey, because we definitely going up all year, for sure.
Well, everybody, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this like I enjoyed this, like we enjoyed this. And I hope y'all took something from this, because as long as it's true, as long as it's genuine, as long as it's original, no matter if it's unfiltered, it still fills a person's cup. And on that note right there, man, y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. It's your boy, Mr. CSA2. Easy. Yes, sir.